just first glance and you know it's high performance. High performance radar, high performance scope, high performance balancer, high spec aimbag, and high performance aerospace gimbal. Very standard until you remember balancer is for melee attacks after using thrusters. Greetings, Rigil Agateiades here, and today he's bringing undercost machines to Rated again. This bizarre looking lunar buggy with a gun on top is the Gigan. Originally a 200 cost support type, we're bringing the level 4 to a 350 Rated match. Bringing high level machines to Rated is usually treated as trolling, because most of the time they lack the weapons and skills to compete with the higher base cost machines. But not the Gigan. The main weapon of the Gigan is the 120mm Gatling gun. An exceptionally good Gatling gun with high damage and range, combined with the second weapon, the 180mm recoilless cannon, the Gigan is already off to a great spot in terms of weapons. The recoilless cannon comes with a large blast radius and stagger, a very standard support type weapon. The enemy raid type mate is way behind us, our gun tank is quite doomed. We rain all we have onto the enemy below, 25 hits on the Gatling gun can stagger, and the Zogok loses a huge portion of his health. Depression angle not quite enough to do more, and the wait time on the cannon means we couldn't save the gun tank. We didn't end up like him only because we jumped up the cliff at the start. With this spectacular firing position, we are free to shoot at almost any enemy position. Find someone capping the point, too bad I'm looking. Infantry down and we get free lunch. Have to reload though, so we check our rear to make sure our team handled the raid type before moving back to the same position. Now the skills on the Gigan. Just first glance and you know it's high performance. High performance radar, high performance scope, high performance balancer, high spec aimbag, and high performance aerospace gimbal. Very standard until you remember balancer is for melee attacks after using thrusters. Back to the waypoint, turns out our Gatling gun can just reach from this range, 350 meters for your reference. We reload and try to get some repairs done, but enemies just spawn, so we'll get right back into the fight. On this map, the top of this arch is an important firing position simply because of how much one can cover from here. Teammate raid type caught in a horrible position in the middle of the enemy formation, don't try that at home. Gatling guns can start raining hell as we move back since the bright red groove is coming up from the right. Looks like he failed his jump up the ledge though, and the moment he starts to fire at someone else, we are free to do whatever we want up here. These Gatling guns only show 140 damage per shot here, but if they add up, they quickly rack up thousands of damage. Enemy barely survived our cannon shot, time for some questionable hitboxes. Scratched his back or something and he goes down. As you can see, the entire field has barely anything to cover them from this firing position. Too bad our Gatling gun is reloading and our Vulcans couldn't reach, or we would have finished up the Drudge ourselves. Weaving in more damage with the Gatling gun before switching our attention to the enemy directly below us. It would be boring if we just stayed up the cliff the entire time, wouldn't it? Turn rate isn't that bad for a 250 support type, but we hit the cliff face. Zogok comes dashing right in, we tackle, but for some reason that did not counter. He then decides to not commit and gets punished immediately for that. Can't really blame him though, since he knows the supporting fire is landing this way. We did survive the Zogok and the supporting fire, but the survivability of this Gigan is pretty average. All of that did whittle down this not so tough lunar buggy, and after 2 shots from the enemy gun cannon, we go down. Spawn in and we find the Zogok again. You should have avoided this arch entirely. Now let's talk about the other high performance aspects of the Gigan while we Gatling away at the Zogok. There's the great weapon set that allows us to fire almost non-stop since the Vulcans also stagger, and then there's the high performance skills, basically just the balancer and the aimbag, and then there's the mobility of this support type. The mobility of low cost support types were known to be, well, horrendous. Not the Gigan though. with a movement speed of 125 after custom parts, and a decent turn rate makes it on par with general types, although your thrusters are pretty much unusable. General type rolled out of nowhere, we get staggered by the bazooka, but a great cut from our teammate and we bring him down with our claw arm. Couldn't do that without the high performance balancer. Unlike other support types, the Gigan can fight this far up the front line only because it is agile enough to catch up with movements. The very small hitbox also makes it very hard to hit. Heat Rod from a goof is definitely not what a support type can handle though, but we are saved by our teammate once again. Our luck is top notch today. Didn't melee the goof because he's way more resistant to melee attacks than ranged. Couldn't finish him up, tackle to avoid the goof's melee but wasn't quick enough and a huge chunk of our health goes. And we go down soon after as the rest of our health gets whittled away slowly. Enough of camping on the cliff, we are spawning right in the middle. Cannon and Gatling brings one down immediately, but we get smacked from the back. Lived through that quite well thanks to our melee resistance custom parts. The typing advantage also helped a lot, which is why you never try to fight someone with a typing advantage over you. You're wasting your time which you could have used to do other things. For general types, that's stopping our 2 raid types. Sniped someone from a mile away, that's a demonstration of pure skill. Another shell onto the cliff camper, and the Gatling brings him down. Raid type comes charging in from our right, can't stop the maneuver armor, but our teammate saved us once again. Saved the 3rd time today. Zogok turns around after seeing us lol, but his great emergency evasion gets our teammate. Time to save our teammate instead. Cannon shot into a dash down attack. High performance balancer for the win. 40 seconds left and we have a pretty safe lead. Gatling gun all the way, the magazine on it is just enormous. Pretty bad position we are in, but our team has the numbers advantage. Raid type kind of caught us near the end, but teammates got us covered and we picked up a final kill before the game ends. Absolutely shredded the enemy team. 6-digit damage in a 350 game. Not as mad as the one I did on 250, but jumping off the cliff made it way more exciting. The damage on the Gatling gun is incredible and the high performance balancer came in handy twice. It would be great if they give it to more support types to spice things up. That's it from me today. Laters.